Welcome to a Team SNG Banlist Prediction video. Alright, so first of all, if you haven't been here before, welcome. If you've been here before and you haven't hit that subscribe button, hit that subscribe button. Come on. Also, leave us a like, comment, and subscribe, obviously. And check out the team's Facebook page. Link to that will be down below in the description. So this is my first time doing a Banlist Prediction video. I've taken this from other resources, other people. I've listened to what they're thinking. I've listened to big players like Ryan Yu and Team Samurai X1 and all that, and what they sort of think should be on the list. And I've sort of cultivated, at the end of the day, what I believe is the best list. So we're going to go section by section. The first section we're going to talk about is the banned section. On this, I have 3 cards. First card, Block Dragon. Emancipator takes too much advantage from it. There are other decks that take advantage from it, such as Burning Abyss used to take a big advantage from it. I once played a locals where a player was playing Burning Abyss Block Dragon. The amount of recursion he got out of it was absolutely ridiculous. I think the Block Dragon really is a problem because of the very simple fact that it gives Emancipator the ability to recur and recur and recur and recur and recur with a deck that already has the ability to dig and dig and dig and dig. It just doesn't need that power. I do understand they probably won't hit it because Emancipator is too new, and the fact that we have this situation of the virus of it all. Nobody's actually played with Emancipator at full power. However, I do think that this remote dueling that's coming along, as was mentioned by a few other YouTubers, will allow them to open the door to a new ban list. So I do think Block Dragon could potentially get hit if they actually give us a real list. Next, Link Cross, token generation. There's too much of it. Of all the big token generators tend to have been hit. I almost want to say Auroradon might get hit as well for the same problem, and also for its interaction with Halqifibrax, but I think they might leave Auroradon and Halqifibrax alone for a little while just to see how they do if we take away some of their power cards, like Link Cross, and like Jet Synchron. So I think Jet Synchron's going to get hit as well. I think he'll be banned, which is a real shame for me. My Cinder Dragon deck profile really does rely on the ability to use Jet Synchron, but I can see Jet Synchron going. I think that's a fair call. And with that, all of those have, well, vanished. Next, we'll talk about the limited list. This is more of a pardon limited list, in my opinion. I think a lot of stuff can come off the list to 1. But the first card that's going on that's a new card on the list is Tuning. The reason for this is if we're getting rid of Jet Synchron, we should be getting rid of Tuning. Tuning will still allow players to get to things like Steam Synchron and things like Quick Draw Synchron, which can still be a problem. So if we're getting rid of Jet Synchron to limit the Halqifibrax plays, we should get rid of the search card that can search other degenerate Synchron cards. Again, this hurts me too. As for stuff that was banned that I think could come back, Double Iris Magician, bring it to 1, see what it does. I don't think it's going to do anything. Its ability to recur and gain advantage, fine. Pendulums have been hit enough that this shouldn't be a massive, massive problem. I think this can definitely come back to 1. Try it at 1 on this list. If nothing happens, bring it to 3. That's my opinion on that. Next, I'm going to undo the big Thanos snap of the meta that previously happened. I think that all 3, Engage, Harp Horror, and Thunder Dragon Colossus can come back. I think Eldritch has power crept them to the point where they are not going to be too big of an issue. Engage, I think, can come back to 1. Don't bring it back any more than that. Its ability to recur with things like multi-roll and stuff, fine, but you're only running 1 multi-roll now, so Sky Striker's been hit enough that I do think you could have Engage at 1 and be okay. I think Harp Horror can come to 1. I understand that it will enable Orcust as an engine, but I do have a later hit to sort of limit the recursion of the Harp Horror, so I think that Harp Horror to 1 may be okay. But I can also see the argument for that not coming off the list. As with Colossus, it's the same thing. I think it can come back to 1. I really do actually believe it can come back to 1. There's too many decks out there that rely on adding cards from deck to hand that can do some really degenerate stuff, and having the ability to turn that off is really good. And so I think that Thunder Dragon Colossus come back to 1. I understand it's also a very difficult card to get rid of, except for you can bounce it, you can spin it, you can banish it, you can steal it. Yeah, it's OP. There's lots of ways of getting rid of it. I don't really think it has a need to be here. I think it can come back to 1. Thunder Dragon didn't win much, if anything, when they were at full power, so bring it back to 1. 2 or 3? No, never. But 1. Thunder Dragon Colossus can go back to that. The other 2 cards I have on this section is Harpy's Feather Duster and Heavy Storm. We have Dark Hole and Raigeki. We have Lightning Storm. We have Lightning Vortex. We have board wipe after board wipe after board wipe. Heck, we have Mirror Force. There are board wipes out there. Why are these 2 still on the list? Because they hit the back row? There's not that many decks out there that rely on their back row, and the ones that do are usually slightly degenerate because there isn't enough stuff to get rid of the back row. Okay, we got Twin Twisters and we got some other stuff, and everyone's going to comment that. We don't have enough back row removal. Also, you want to complain about it? Here's the other thing. Look at Metaphys. Metaphys isn't doing anything, and they have a built-in Harpy's Feather Duster and a built-in Raigeki that are searchable. They're doing nothing. Bring them back. There's no harm in them being back. Don't bring them to 3. Bring them to 1. But bring them back. Also, it then curbs the power of things like Mystic Mine, because there's more things out there to threaten Mystic Mine, meaning Mystic Mine can stay at 3 because Konami doesn't want to hit it. Don't know why Konami doesn't want to hit it, but they don't. So, if you're going to let that stay at 3, then you need to bring out more ways to get rid of it. Heavy Storm, Harpy's Feather Duster. Back to 1. That's my big call for this list. Next, onto the semi-limits. I mentioned Harp Horror can come back to 1. He can only do that if Galatea goes to 2. I can also see the argument for Galatea going to 1, to limit the recursion of the Harp Horror from the banishment. But I think if Galatea is at 2, the amount of looping it can do will be limited already, so I think if Galatea is at 2, Harp Horror can be at 1. If they don't make Galatea at 2, Harp Horror has to stay banned, and that's all there is to it. On to the pardons. I'm going to be very generous. I'm going to pardon 5 cards. First card we're going to be pardoning, Widow Anchor. Sky Striker is doing very little. Let Widow Anchor come back to 1. To 3. It's already at 2. And I'm not a massive fan of the semi-limit list. I know I put Wakard on there, and I left Mally on there because it doesn't make sense for him to be at 1, but it doesn't make sense for him to be at 3. So, Widow Anchor's coming off. On top of Widow Anchor coming off, so is Pankratops. I think Pankratops and Red Reboot both went on the list for something. I don't actually know. No one knows. They were side deck cards at best. And they went on the list. Kinda stupid. So, Red Reboot, Pankratops, both of those can come off. It's ridiculous that they're on there in the first place. Next coming off, again, these were punished for the Master Rule 4.5, Master Rule 5, the current Master Rule. They're punished because of the changes that were coming to it. We have ABC Dragon Buster. Why? Let it come back. It's done nothing wrong. It's really powerful when it was at full power. But was it? It's done nothing wrong. Bring it back. And totally awesome. Again, what's it gonna power? It's gonna give a boost to Paleo? Why would you play Paleo when you can play Altergeist? It's a better version of the deck. It's gonna give a boost to something water-based? Maybe Mermail? Maybe? I don't really know. I'm not a big Mermail player. I'm not positive if they could abuse it, but at the end of the day, I think the things that could abuse it are so far off the top tier let them have it. It doesn't do any harm to bring it back. So bring back Totally and bring back ABC Dragon Buster. Those two I think could definitely come off. They were punished for God knows what. And I don't think there's any reason for them to be on the list anymore. So that does it for the list. There's a couple things I'd like to say about honorable mention type stuff. Plague Spreader Zombie. If you're worried about one card Hawks, possible. I don't think they'll hit it because you don't gain the advantage of setting your grave up like you do with Jet Synchron, but it is still a one card Hawk. So I could see the argument that some people will look at Plague Spreader. As for other one card Hawks, Despot 001, again, same sort of thing. Its ability to interact with Halka-Fibrax and Auroradon is not exactly healthy, so I could see that being hit. Mecha Phantom Beast, O-Lion, definitely could be hit, but it's just been reprinted, so I don't think they're going to hit it just yet. And finally, the Buster Dragon Sword thing that links up with to Union Carrier. Honorable mention to that as well. That could also be hit. I theoretically think if they're going to hit any of those, they'd put them to 1. I don't think they'd ban any of them, although a lot of them you just run at 1 anyway. So maybe Mecha and the Buster Welt could go to a 0, but I don't entirely believe that. All right, and that really does it. So with that being said, guys, I'd like to thank you for watching. Don't forget, leave us a like, comment, and subscribe. Check out the team's Facebook page. Links in the description below. We will be back to the SNG Championship Series next week on Monday. So this is just a nice little interlude. It's an extra video out there for you guys. And with that, I'll see you guys at the next video.